So, doing what I normally do yesterday, poring over different hockey numbers, hockey stats, hockey sites, and I came up with an interesting idea, which is 10 guys who were surprisingly 50 goal scorers. As in, before that and after that, there wasn't a whole lot to indicate that the 50 goal season was coming. And there are a lot of things that can make a 50 goal season come through, whether it's great line mates, whether it's perfect ice time and great relationship with your coach, or just you're in the right place at the right time that whole season. We've all seen it where a guy gets lightning in a bottle, and he's fantastic. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a list first on the top 10 guys who did this, who had the 1 year where they looked great and everything was going in the net. And I've ranked them according to how many goals they scored in their career. So the more goals you scored in your career, the less of a surprise I would consider it to be that you scored 50 goals. And there aren't very many opportunities I have to say, oh, this is a reason to wear a Quebec Nordiques jersey, but we're there because there's a Quebec Nordique that's on the list. Number 10, Bernie Nicholls, Bernie Nicholls, who in 88-89 had 70 goals. And he never scored 40 before that, and he never scored 40 after that. Or 50, I should say. He never scored 50 after that. Because his next highest total was in 84-85, which was a tremendous season for him. He had over 100 points that year, and the next highest total he had was 46. So, he was 24 goals clear of that in 88-89. That was the year that Gretzky gets there. He becomes the number 2 center. Everybody's worried about Gretzky. Bernie Nicholls starts burying some pucks. And his career total for goals, 475. So, again, for this list, that means that Bernie Nicholls is surprising, but he's the least surprising on the list. Because he scored almost 500 goals in his career. That 70 goal season definitely raised the bar, and he wasn't going to clear it again. Number 9. And the funny thing is, for people my age, there are going to be names on this list that you're like, oh, right, he did score 50. Bobby Carpenter. And this was 84-85. He scored 53. So 53 goals for Bobby Carpenter in 84-85. And his best season outside of that was actually 81, 82, 82, 83. And in those seasons, he scored 32 goals. So he was clear of that total by 19. And his career total was 320. Yeah, 320 goals. That's your career total. I'm going to have to go to one of the bigger markers. I just worry that it's going to smudge with the bigger marker. Anyways, so that's number 9, Bobby Carpenter. Again, 320 career goals is why he's more surprising than Nicholls. And when you look at it, he had the 32 goals there. That was his next highest season. Number 8. Now, I didn't go back to the very beginning. I didn't go back and say, okay, well, let's look at guys from the 60s that had 150 goal season. But Danny Grant, who precedes my time watching hockey, admittedly, in 74-75, had 50 goals. His next highest season, in 68-69, 70-71, he had a total of 34 both seasons. And his career total was 263. So see, that shows that that's how that works. That he had less goals in his career than Bobby Carpenter and Bernie Nicholls, so it makes it more of a surprise. And of course, I'm doing the thing that I always do, which is, even though there's a graph on this board. Anyway, number 7. I'll try to straighten it out, trust me. Number 7 on the board, Craig Simpson. It's because I'm reading and I'm not paying attention to exactly where I'm putting it on the board. So Craig Simpson in 87-88 had a total of 56. And that was in a year where he was split between Edmonton and Pittsburgh. So he got those goals in a split season during the year he's traded. The next highest total he ever had, 88-89, he had 35. So 35 goals for him, and his career total 247. So over a fifth of his goals came that one year. So this is how you figure out, all right, so that's a surprise because his next highest total is 35. Good goal scorer, yes. 50 goal scorer to the one time. Number 6 is, and I had to mess around with this because I missed a guy. And by which I mean I missed a Guy. I missed Guy Chouinard the first time around when I was ranking him. Guy Chouinard, 78-79. Set the bar pretty high with 50 goals. The problem was he wasn't going to get there again. 79-80 and 80-81. He had 31 goals both seasons. He finished with a career total of 205. So Guy Chouinard, solid enough player for the Atlanta Flames. And I thought about wearing Atlanta for this. But 205 in total. 50 goals scored that one year. Number 5. Yeah, number 5. And I'm sure if you're a Leafs fan, you expected this one. If you're a Leafs fan from back then, you knew this guy was coming. Gary Leeman. And boy, howdy. I remember after he had this 50-goal season, too, that there was a lot of 50-goal scorer, 50-goal scorer, 50-goal scorer. Remember now, he did score 50. He scored 51 that year, actually. Let's be honest. Let's help the guy out. He had 51 that year. 89-90 was this big year. And the season preceding it was pretty good for him as well. 88-89, he had 32. But he really struggled to get back to that again. And his career total was 199. So Gary Leeman, not remembered as the sniper, but that one year, everything he touched went in the net. It was a strange season for him in Toronto. And then he ended up being part of the Calgary trade. And that was something that, when the trade was made for Doug Gilmour, there were Flames fans that kind of clung to that. Like, yeah, Leeman's been down, but he is a 50-goal scorer. He has scored 50. He's a 50-goal scorer. Which usually just meant those of us who would hear that saying, oh, you poor Calgary fans. It's not anymore. Number 4. Now, this one, I have to put an asterisk here. Hawk and Lube, I have to put an asterisk. Now, first off, yes, it's the most fun name to say ever. So if you love the name, you should. 87-88, Hawk and Lube had 50 goals. And there's a reason for the asterisk, and I'll get to that. 85-86, I'm sure there are some European fans of the channel watching this going, I don't know what that's for. I know why that's there. In his NHL career, he had 193 goals. So when you look at it, the 50 goals was a bigger portion of his career total. I have an asterisk there because he played 7 years in the Swedish league after leaving the NHL. He left the NHL while he was still technically in his prime. So could he potentially have got another 50-goal season in there? Yes. You look at some scoring in the early 90s, he absolutely could have got to 50. So his career total, 193, the 50 goals here, it definitely has that appearance of a one-and-done kind of thing. But I have to acknowledge that he had a nice long career in Europe after, and one of those years he might have been able to put in another 50-goal season. And also, if he had played those 5 or 6 years in the NHL instead, he would be much lower on the list because his goals total during his career would be higher. So even if he only had the 150-goal season, he'd still be down likely below Bobby Carpenter. He'd likely be 9th on the list. Number 3. Wayne Gretzky. No, I'm just kidding. Wayne Gretzky had more than one 50-goal season. He did. Wayne Babych, no. And everything went in the net for him that year. And that was basically it. Because 80-81, he had 54 goals. His next highest goal total in a season was 78-79, where he had 27. His career total, 192. So he's barely ahead of Hawk and Lube. But in Babych's case, his descent was quick. And he started getting traded around, and it was insane that he got those 54 goals in 80-81, and then it just didn't happen for him again. So that's kind of what this list is about. Number 2. Now, for younger fans, you guys are going to know who this is. Jonathan Cheechoo, who had the incredible season where everything was going in for him. It was 05-06, so as we came out of the lockout. And he had 56 goals that year. His next highest season was the year after, which was 06-07. He had 37 that year. And there was some expectation after that he would bounce back into the 40-goal range, and he didn't. So 170 is his career total. And so he's pretty high on the list. Cheechoo it was weird how he went from just everything went in the net to and no in a couple of years. And then he would be traded by San Jose not long after. But that 1 year, that 56 goals, that was pretty incredible. And it is the second highest total on the board. Yeah, the number 1 total is 156. So he's tied with Craig Simpson for the second highest total on the board after Bernie Nicholls with 70. See, Nicholls went 50, if I can get 70. And then the year after was like, no, I'm done. No, that's good. No, I did it all in 1 year. Number 1 on the list, Quebec Nordique. And his name sounds like a Quebec Nordique. Jacques Richard. Yes, the amazing season that Jacques Richard had in 80-81. Where he had 52 goals. 52 goals for Jacques Richard. And his next highest total was in 73-74. He had 27. So, yeah, not even close. And his career total, 160. So, Jacques Richard out of nowhere, 52-goal season. And then I think he had like 12 the year after or something ridiculous. Like, he was nowhere near that level ever again or ever before. And, yeah, so it was one of those weird things where out of nowhere, he has that season. So there you go. 10, I guess you can call them flash-in-the-pan 50-goal scorers. That's likely what I'll title it because, these things happen. But it's an interesting thing to look at that these guys all got 50 goals once. And that was the rule. Once. Not looking at guys who had multiple 50-goal seasons today. Just guys who did it once. And there you go. There's your list from 1 through 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.